Good evening, viewers, and welcome to the 6:30 Prime News on My Media Prime. Thanks for watching the first edition of the week. My name is Genda Pelgin Blanche Kane. We're live from Fengudrombange in Douala, the economic capital of the country. Today marks the start of the second term for the 2020-2021 academic year. Here in the nation's economic capital, our reporter Dolly Gonde visited some schools. She confirms the turnout was impressive. Her report.
As early as 6 a.m., school buses could be spotted plowing the highways, picking up students and pupils, indicating the start of the second phase of the academic year. Meanwhile, for the remaining majority, the bikes and taxis were left at their mercy to scramble with business persons and the working class. With every fanfare spot having been dismantled here in the nation's economic capital, it is officially term 2 after the short-lived Christmas break, and on this Monday morning, the bustling has once more begun as pupils and students of both the secondary and higher institutes of learning have responded to the clarion call. On the streets, the beggars had also been positioned as a head-on traffic on the major roads, though controlled by the police on patrol, could still pose many pedestrians to drop some coins for the destitute. While visiting some schools here in Douala, the strict compliance of anti-COVID-19 barrier measures is the first observance. At the gate, none is permitted to make way into the campus without wearing a face mask. Meanwhile, tap-adaptable buckets have been made available at all entry and exit points of the school's premises in a bid to curb the spread of the coronavirus pandemic, which is taking a second lift in the country. And to this discipline master, here is his remark of day one of the second term resumption.
If you go around, you see that teachers came or just were punctual, and in my opinion, I would say the back to school reopening is effective.
With effective learning on the way to kickstart this term, for these students, it is coincidentally time for their sporting activities to take place. With barely a few absences, this student of the examination class expresses her determination to face a second term.
In the holiday periods, we had some catch-up classes which went well, they were very effective, and we had the majority who participated in the classes. School resumption hasn't really been easy for some people, but thankfully, we had a good start. Like for today, we've had classes effectively from 7:30 till now. This is the second class.
On their part, the Christmas break has, however, been short-lived, but not without an awareness on how to combat the COVID-19 pandemic still rocking the world.
I feel very happy to be in school today, but I would love that holidays continue.
Though they say we can catch it and affect others, that means we should also protect ourselves and protect our parents, because if we get infected, that's the way we can also spread the disease to elders.
In all, it can be concluded that the second term of the 2021 academic school year has successfully been launched here in the nation's economic capital, as the turnout was quite encouraging, as well as many from the rest of Anglophone regions are embarking back for studies tonight.
Christian and Muslim faithfuls in Cameroon have been called to be bearers of peace. This call was made by religious leaders in Boya during a one-day intensive prayer for peace. The Anglophone crisis in the northwest and southwest regions and the Boko Haram insurgency in the far north were key prayer points of these events. Details with Clarice Ekoe.
Screams and tears bear witness to their grief as these religious leaders pray for peace to return to Cameroon following the 4 years Anglophone crisis that has ravaged the northwest and southwest region, and on the other hand, the Boko Haram insurgency in the far north region.
We call for peace, justice in our land. In the name of Jesus Christ.
Just like the moderator of the PCC, Right Reverend Funky Samuel Foba, the Imam of the Boya Central Mosque, Muhammadu Abubakar, among other religious leaders present in their homilies, stressed on the need for every worshipper to be farmers of peace and justice by spreading and practicing peace. Worshippers were also enjoined to be prayerful at all times, despite the present difficulties plaguing the country.
The very people who think they are freeing us, the very people who think they are protecting us, are the same people who are bringing
hardship on us. And we want this to stop, and to stop this year. We know that if there is injustice and if people are not receiving what is their due, their rightful due, according to legalistic measures, we have other measures to arrive at those rights and at those values other than using the gun.
We have come in public to speak and inform our children who are in the bushes that please, your message of frustration has reached whoever is supposed to hear. And to tell the government that if your child has cried, listen to him.
While maintaining its apolitical stand with regards to the affairs of the country, these religious leaders equally reiterated on the need for transparency and accountability as good governing tools in a country.
We know politicians here must stand in the place of God and address the people to come out and face each other and say, what is our problem? Let us solve our problem. Let us talk about peace. Let us live peace.
2021 is that year that God is willing to heal our land. And we are calling for every other good citizen of this nation to cooperate so that we will not only experience peace, but through our nation, other nations, neighboring nations will also experience peace.
For several hours, these worshippers made up of Baptists, Pentecostals, Muslims, faithful, and Presbyterians chanted songs of exaltation and prayed fervently to God for the return of peace in the nation Cameroon as they observe the International Peace Day.
City dwellers of Kumba equally observed a Holy Weekend with an ecumenical service for peace in the southwest region and Kumba in particular, considering how hard the crisis has affected the town. Tamfu Sidwan Dimbie completes this story in the following report.
These were not only Christians from the Presbyterian Church in Cameroon, but they were drawn from different denominations on Saturday, January 2, 2021, marching along the Kumba streets to ask God to intervene into the various calamities recorded in the city, from the armed conflicts to the COVID-19 and many other issues affecting peace in the city of Kumba and its environs. They worshiped God and prayed He intervenes in order for calm to return in the northwest and southwest regions of Cameroon. As the new year begins, the Kumba population through this ecumenical service also pledged to stay committed in the Lord, who is the only one to solve problems, even in desperate situations.
Peace is very possible.
Addressing Christians at the Kumba Amusement Park, Reverend Mary Wose, Presbyterian Secretary of Kumba Presbytery, stated that peace is possible and that God has listened to prayers from Kumba and will certainly intervene for peace to return.
It is something we have been yearning for, and I think that today was just the appointed time for us to have these prayers. And I believe that God has heard us. God has listened to the cries of His children.
She also stated that all religious leaders should commit themselves in finding means for peace to prevail.
Every clergyman or woman in his or her own little corner is committed to negotiate peace.
She maintained that the people of Kumba and the entire nation need God in their lives for peace to possibly reign, thereby cautioning the participants at the ecumenical service to create a healthy relationship with God.
We have cried enough. We have lost souls, more than enough. And I think that even the preacher of the day gave us those words of hope to tell us that peace is possible.
There are hopes that after the interdenominational service, God will certainly intervene into what disturbs peace in Kumba and its environs.
Let's now revisit the address of the head of state on the 31st of December 2020. The head of state announced during his end-of-year address that those responsible for the crimes in the northwest and the southwest regions of the country will face justice. Some Cameroonians have, however, reacted to the speech. Let's listen to a Christian Cardinal Toumi and some other Cameroonians in the following report compiled by Etape Content in the French language.
Les groupes armés ont commis des tueries et des actions dans les régions du nord-ouest et sud-ouest du Cameroun. Dans son discours adressé à la nation le 31 janvier dernier, le président de la République Paul Biya a annoncé 2 points, je cite, « Tous les coupables seront recherchés sans relâche et traduits devant la justice ».
Tous les coupables seront recherchés sans relâche et traduits devant la justice.
Après ce discours méticuleusement suivi en français et en anglais, le cardinal Christian Toumi, lui, qui avait l'occasion de rencontrer ces groupes armés, dans sa réaction, s'insurge contre leur intolérance.
Quand il y a eu l'occasion de les rencontrer, comme il y a quelques jours, je leur dis qu'il y a seulement 2 choses sur lesquelles je ne suis pas d'accord avec eux.
Comme Paul Biya dans son discours, le cardinal parlant de la politique soutient que les élections se gagnent dans les urnes et non dans les rues. Parlant de la santé, le port de masque est obligatoire. Pour cette femme, c'est une bonne décision car elle vise à préserver les vies des Camerounais.
Chacun doit faire l'effort parce que c'est d'abord pour nous-mêmes, ce n'est pas pour le chef de l'État. On prend les dispositions pour être à l'abri de ces fléaux qui risquent d'exterminer la race humaine sur Terre.
Si certains ont trouvé quelque chose à dire après le discours du chef de l'État, d'autres non, car ils estiment que le contenu du discours est resté statique, qu'il y aurait des vrais problèmes auxquels devrait s'intéresser Paul Biya.
Je vous dis que, selon moi, il va nous parler des projets de l'avenir du Cameroun, comment est-ce que le Cameroun soit construit. Il y a beaucoup de chômeurs contre le Cameroun.
Après l'année des défis qui vient de s'achever, l'heure est plutôt à la volonté des Camerounais à se sacrifier au quotidien pour le développement de leur pays en cette nouvelle année.
Still on the head of state's address on December 31, 2020, Von Quinta gathered reactions of some state officials in the littoral region.
Glued to their television set were top administrative and judicial personnel of the littoral region as they listened keenly to the head of state's message on December 31, 2020 to Cameroonians.
L'attention que nous avons dû porter à la situation sanitaire ne nous a pas empêché de nous consacrer aux autres tâches essentielles liées à la gestion de notre pays.
It was at the residence of the littoral governor that top administrative and judicial personnel followed Mr. Biya's traditional end-of-year message to the nation. Reacting after the president's message was the governor of the littoral region, Samuel Ivaha Dibois, who applauded the head of state's effort towards the organization of regional elections, Cameroon hosting Chan 2020 competition, amongst others.
What we were waiting for, the regional elections, and before that, the municipal and legislative one, and the presidential that have done. The head of state have made us to realize the Chan and Can competition that are coming in the 3 regions.
With much optimism and hope, Member of Parliament who follow the head of state's message holds most of the resolutions of the major national dialogue and many others have been implemented.
Most of the promises, most of the decisions taken in this major national dialogue are right now implemented, which is a good thing. This actualization is going on. The special status in the Northwest and Southwest is implemented. The reconstruction of the Northwest and Southwest is on its way. I think we have to be proud of our country.
CPDM militant Jean-Jacques Ekindi acknowledges Mr. Biya's concern of the situation in the Northwest, Southwest and Far North regions of Cameroon.
What I can say is that he looks really concerned and he's radiant. If you look at him carefully, you see that really he has energy. He looks even younger. And I believe that he has a captain, he holds very firmly the bar of Cameroon. And this just gave us some confidence on what is going to come. Because this year was a very bad year. For next year, we need more hope, and especially we need leaders able just to lead Cameroon where we have to go.
President Paul Biya's traditional end-of-year message on December 31, 2020 focused on the general call on Cameroonians to keep respecting COVID-19 barrier measures, participate in the reconstruction and development of the Northwest, Southwest and Far North regions, while indicating that all those behind the murder of 7 children in Kumba last October 24 will be brought to book.
Away from that, some members of the military corps have received state recognition for their services to fatherland. The ceremony, which took place on January 1, was also an opportunity to point out some civilians for their support and services to the state. Kumo Norimbum tells us more.
It was an atmosphere of joy and celebration as the military corps in Limbe joined their brethren nationwide to receive epaulets as part of promotion of the Ministry of Defense for the 2021 financial year. The ceremony, which took place at the military base in Manawo Bay, started with a reading of the ministerial degree promoting the laureates to their respective ranks. The laureates, who were close to 100 in number, were promoted to the ranks of senior military officers, and non-commissioned officers. They were privileged to be decorated to their new ranks by a cross-section of their colleagues present to grace the event. Colonel Menga Marcel, commander of the Limbe Naval Base, who doubles as the commander of the Limbe Garrison, is one of those senior military officers who was raised to the rank of a full-fledged colonel. For Lieutenant Osumba Asomojak, his new rank is an opportunity for him to reaffirm his commitment to the state.
You know, we have to fight and continue to fight, and you know what I'm talking about. So today I'm very happy, but I know that I have many things to do further.
The second phase of the celebration took place at the Manga William Avenue and witnessed the award of medals of honor to some civilians for their selfless sacrifices to the state.
I want to thank God for this new year and this day of today, a special day in my life, that I've received 2 labor medals that no worker in my establishment has ever received for the past 25 years. People have worked and gone on retirement without a labor medal, but I'm honored by the state today to receive 2 labor medals at the same time.
The celebrations continued in the homes of the recipients with merrymaking.
Relative calm has returned to most parts of the southwest region after over 4 years of unrest in the 2 English-speaking regions of the country. The mayor of Manfe Council in Manyu Division, Ashura Benson, has continued works to ensure permanent return of peace in the southwest. Moki Diobe Regan tells us more.
Coming of the Anglophone crisis in 2016, which has caused many children in the northwest and southwest region of the country to be homeless, as sometimes their parents are arrested, others run into the bushes for fear of the unknown.
They tell my papa and my big brother, they don't let me and my brother now, so
each day passing by, these innocent kids are being wounded in one way or the other because of the ongoing Anglophone crisis, which someone need to explain to these innocent kids why their parents are running into the bushes, why they're shooting and killing.
My friend will go school to boy, not the money will go school, and then I go here, they shoot gun.
It is against this backdrop that the mayor of Manfe Council in Manyu Division, Southwest region of Cameroon, Ashu Robinson, used the 1st of January 2021 to give hope to some internally displaced children in Manfe town by creating a playing ground for children, as he was spotted celebrating the birth of 2021 with internally displaced children in Manfe. should be noted that the young and energetic mayor of Mamfe Council says peace will fully be restored in Mamfe town in no distant time, and internally displaced children who don't go to school because of finance shall kickstart classes this second term of this academic year under the financial support of Mamfe Council.
It was a sad weekend in the northwest region as mourners turned out in their numbers to bid farewell to Mama Elizabeth Vedmia Jang, described as a mother who kept the faith. Her funeral rekindled traditional and cultural activities considerably slow since 2016 in the northwest region. Details with Charles Kewa.
The demise of Mama Elizabeth Vedmia Tachang, popularly called Mami Eli, who slept in the Lord June 1st, 2020, remains fresh in the mind of most inhabitants of Bali, Abakwa, and the Northwest region as thousands turned out at the Fonja Street residence of Dr. Pius Tachang, proprietor of Edge Company, to bid farewell to the departed mother described she kept the faith.
And I took her to various levels, from the very basic to the very sophisticated, objective being to raise something a little bit above sustainable level to be able to generate income necessary to send all the children to school.
Her motto remained from the Akum Holy Family Hospital Mortuary, December 30th, 2020, with last respect at family residence, Poncha Street, and funeral service at PC in Tagem, Ntambesi. The Reverend Preacher, Reverend Dr. Fai Michael, said Mama Elizabeth Vedmia Tachang invited all to the congregation she worshipped for 22 years to decide whether to be the wise virgin or the foolish virgin. Challenged mourners to be ready at all times, for a good Christian knows his traveler, given his home is beyond the sky.
Now Mama is gone. I'm thankful to God that we, the children, are accompanying her to a resting place and not the ugly reverse.
Mama Elizabeth Vedmia Tachang was a woman full of herself, one who played advisory end to all who came closer to her, and ensured Edge Company out for the development of the Northwest region and Cameroon succeed in her mission. Her funeral and burial rekindled hope of traditional and cultural activities considerably slow since 2016 in the Northwest region, as thousands mobilized and showcased the best of cultural dances that assembled in large numbers with a veritable celebration of tradition and customs. Masquerades, jujus, and dances came from across the entire Northwest region to celebrate her life. Born in 1942, Mami Eli was blessed with 4 children and grandchildren whom she put her soul and all into nurturing them together with many other children she opened her home to.
We have come to the end of today's edition of Prime News on My Major Prime. See you tomorrow, God willing, at 6:30 Cameroon time for another edition of Prime News. My name is Gienda Pelgian Blanche King. The news was coordinated by Lasha Kingsley, produced by Ewane Eli Nolinga. Until we see again or meet again tomorrow, stay tuned to My Major Prime at 7 p.m. Cameroon time. Kumlona will be live with Prime Art to talk about issues affecting the world, Africa, and Cameroon. Happy viewing and good night.